Are we live? We're live? Ooh, we're live. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, as y'all funnel in tonight to the Boozers live chat. It says waiting for Mary Boozer. Is it not working yet?
It says we're live on this side.
Okay. Well, hopefully we are. Checking this. Okay, there it goes. It's updated now.
How's the
Anyway.
video on your side?
Checking on the audio. I can't hear it at all.
Video. So that's
Is there any audio on your end, guys? Phone boy, can you hear us tonight? For some reason. Sounds good. Okay, they all said they can hear it. Tonight we're going to just be talking about some of our small toss 'em and boss 'em planes. You know, everybody right now is doing retract videos and retract airplanes, so tonight I kind of wanted to go over some of the segment that's not getting as much talk right now, and there's some awesome airplanes that have been coming out lately in the hand toss series of airplanes. Hobby King just got their Buffalo out. Park Zone did the re-release of their Wildcat. There's a lot of really good airplanes right now that a lot of guys don't have a dedicated field to fly things with complicated retracts. Thank you, Lori. I forgot to turn the light on. Hopefully everybody can see us better now, too. So I wanted to start going over one of my favorite airplanes tonight that we have just flown the dog out of this little guy. This is the FreeWing little Lippisch. And what I did, first thing out of the box on this one, whoops, your phone turned off, Lori. Bring me the iPad if you don't mind so I can read the comments. One of the first things I did on this little guy, if you can see, we land on what's called geotex at the airport. And what I did was put tape all over the bottom of this little guy because when you land it on any kind of surface other than grass, man, it really scuffs up the bottom of these guys. But for 99 bucks, these are so much fun. And this little guy is fast. Now, we did Papa Dots this airplane. Even though it's small, guys, don't forget, you're modelers. So keep modeling. If you can see, let me get up here and show you up close. We've actually Papa Dotted this airplane. Done our weathering and everything. Turn it over. There it is. Now, I know this isn't the PC thing to do, but a Lippisch would have actually had a swastika on it. So I did that, and I also painted the tail yellow on mine. So don't forget, just because something's cheap, Lori's handing me the iPad, that you can still have a good time and customize your airplanes. All right, let's see here. I got the chat going again here. Good evening, good evening. Thumbs up, everybody. Thanks, Boots. You know, we didn't have a super big, complicated, how do you call it, an agenda tonight. I just kind of wanted to sit here and talk with you guys tonight. Kind of hang out, have a good time. Talk maybe a little bit about this. It's history. Who cares about PC? Dennis, that is exactly how I feel about it. You know, when I go out to do an airplane, if you look at any of our paint jobs, I'm going for historical accuracy when possible. And German airplanes, to me, should have a swastika on the tail. It was how they really were. The other cool thing I did is the Lippisch doesn't come with a pitot tube out here on the wing, but I added what is, this is a little straw that comes for coffee stirs. There's those little black straws. Man, those things are worth gold. Save those to make pitot tubes or guns. You can make them right here. Let's see, get it up here where you can see it. But you can do pitot tubes, guns with that kind of stuff. I always try and bring y'all away to do something a little different, bringing out your modeling. The other thing I did is the Lippisch doesn't have a lot of room in the back of it, but I did put a howler whistle in the back of the Lippisch. So if you can get the Nerf footballs, I ripped it out of there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I filled in the bottom of the whistle and glued it right in the tailpipe. And man, this thing makes so much noise now. But if you're looking for a fun airplane that you don't have to have a dedicated runway for. It doesn't require a ton of space to fly this. It's a wonderful little airplane, and I've really been wanting to get my hands on the F-104 Thunder Chief, the Corsair. What is it? I think it's a Corsair. It's the other one. But they've got a whole series of these. A MiG, the little F-86. I've seen a couple other guys at the field that have the other ones, and man, they all look like fun. But the thing that I like about the Lippisch is you can fly it 100 miles an hour. Al, it probably isn't 100. You're probably doing about 80 with this, but with this little guy, that is cooking. But you can also throttle it back, and it glides so well. I mean, you're flying a flying wing here. It's just a phenomenal little guy. F8 Crusader, that's the other one I was trying to think of. I know on the other ones, it's kind of a weird mix to where the ailerons move with the elevator the same direction because they're tied together. But all the ones I've seen fly great. The roll rate on these little guys is nuts. So I have dialed mine way back. I actually have my radio setting here so I could look it up again. I've got mine setting at 60% on the aileron throws in the Spectrum radio. The airplane is actually set up by the book, but I ended up, if you fly Spectrum, I fly 60% throw on the ailerons, and I fly 70% on the elevator. And it's really worked out good for me. Sometimes I'll flip into the high rate on the elevator when I'm landing. I have 100% throw actually still set up for elevator when landing. Don't take off in 100% throw, though. You'll get yourself in a lot of problems because it gets really touchy, especially on the ailerons. I still have an aileron setting at 100% throw, but I mean, it's like a little torpedo spinning through the air. So anyway, guys, I'm trying this mic setup a little different tonight. I've got it a lot closer tonight. I have a brand new microphone, but I'm still currently working on getting the computer to act right during the live show. So hopefully y'all sound good tonight. I know we've had some issues with that in the past few days. It's great to see everybody coming over from the pilot lounge the other night. I'm trying to watch this as it goes by. Receivers, I've been using Lemon RX. Just trying to see if there's anything going on. Papa Boozer just popped in. He's been out camping all weekend, having a great time. Lori, can you just keep this? And if we kind of have any questions, I might miss them right now, guys. I'm going to have Lori, she's sitting behind the camera right now. If y'all have a question for me, shoot it out. Let me know. I'd love to answer them. So, like I said, one of the series of stuff that I like to fly lately has been stuff that you don't have to worry about taking off into the wind or anything with that. And I'm going to grab another airplane off camera real quick. So the Lippisch is one of my favorite airplanes right now for cheap. But if you're looking for another, sorry, something that has not got enough love in the past, and mine has beat to death. How's that look right there, Lori? Can I see it? This is the EFX Racer from Hobby King. They've re-released this airplane 2 or 3 times. Lori says we've got a question right now.
3-cell or 4-cell?
On the Lippisch is 3-cell. I fly it on 1500 lipos, guys, and I get roughly 5 to 4 minutes depending on how hard I'm flying it. If I'm flying at a lot of full throttle on that Lippisch, I fly it 4 minutes. But I actually have 2 timers set up in my IX-12, and if I'm flying half throttle most of the flight or cutting it way back, I'll go 5. And I've actually flown the Lippisch almost 10 minutes before by flying it up, cutting the power, and gliding it all over, because it glides so well. Anyway, another airplane, like I said, that is just so much fun. I have flown and flown and flown this airplane, and you can tell it's pretty beat up now. It comes with a different spinner. It comes with a different prop. I'm actually running a 6x5.5 prop on here now. And this airplane on 3-cell flies a lot like a pattern plane. It's very docile. It stays, I mean, where you point this airplane, it goes right there. And it is just a joy to fly it. And I love the shape of the wing on this airplane. scoot back a little bit so you can maybe see it. The elliptical wing on this, and then it's curved right here at the end, is such a great airfoil, and there's not many RC airplanes that you can grab by the tip of the wing. If you want to see stiff, look how stiff this airplane is. They really built it right. It's got carbon spars all the way down. I'm holding this by the wingtip, and it doesn't let go. If you want to see an airplane that's built right, there it is. Now, my tail is a little crooked, if you look at it, but I mean, I've had some pretty bad landings with this airplane, but it glides really easy. If you're looking for a good airplane as far as a cheap one, Hobby King had these on sale the other day for 140 bucks. If they're still on sale, I would highly recommend buying one. Their customer service is not always the best, but their airplanes lately have been just killer. And like I said, the way this airplane's made, I have cartwheeled this one across the ground, and it really hasn't got much damage. The wingtips have kind of cracked here and there, but I just glued them back together. But that's another one. I'm trying to think of any other Tossum airplanes that I highly recommend. I really want to try that Buffalo. The E-Flight Wildcat is a phenomenal airplane. You get, I can't remember if it comes with safe or not, but it does have AS3X in it, and AS3X on these smaller size airplanes is a godsend. I mean, I had the little Pitts UMX, and that was one of the best flying little airplanes I've ever had my hands on. Oh yeah, here you go. Another one. This is Lori's. This was Lori's first airplane, all by herself. I'm getting covered in airplanes right now. It's a terrible problem to have. She actually built this one. Flight Test makes this. This is the FT Aero. We bought the kit for 10 bucks, but if you print out the design on Flight Test's website, this airplane you can have flying $1 for the airframe in foam board material from the dollar store. And then I've got this little motor I picked up offline for, I think, 10 bucks. I think I actually got this and the ESCs and everything for like 10 bucks. 2 cheap servos, and man, you can have a ball with this airplane for dirt cheap. I'd say all in, if you buy the kit, you buy the motor, the ESCs, the servo, everything, you're going to have $60 in it. But if you crash it, you got another $1 to build another airframe and then throw all your electronics in it. These are so much fun. And all I did is took our airbrush, and the foam board was brown that I got from Flight Test, and I just sprayed that, and I had the stickers left over from one of our Spitfires we got somewhere along the way. So I painted the bottom gray, top camo, stuck the stickers on there. Great airplane, guys, for ones that are wanting to get into the hobby. You can't go wrong with a wing. They fly so docile and so easy, and they're tough. You know, Lori's been learning with this one. And you can see the nose has taken some hits, but it's a foam board airplane, and the way the wing is designed on these, they're extremely strong. And a lot of guys will actually tape that packing tape and put it across the leading edge and down around the nose, and it will absorb a lot of the damage that way. Anyway, so, like I said, if you're curious, this is the version 1 of this. The one downfall I say on the Durafly, I can't remember what it's called right now, is that the battery bay is very small on this airplane. And when you start trying to put a 4-cell battery in there, it gets really tight really quickly in there. 50 amp ESC. I forgot what kV motor this is. Haven't looked at it in a while. 28, 38, 2300 kV motor. On 4-cell, guys, this thing's hitting about 110 miles an hour. I mean, it's nuts. In a dive, I guarantee you this plane's over 130 miles an hour. On 4-cell, screaming. I mean, it is so much fun. So much fun. And I can't recommend enough. The build quality of this, the carbon spars and everything in the wing, to be able to do this with an airplane and not tear it up, just blows me away. I mean, I challenge you to see if any of your airplanes are built that way, right out of the box, where you can hold them out here on the wing and not tear them up doing that. I mean, it's blown me away how well they built this airplane. EFX Racer, sorry, there we go. And I'll try and get links up as soon as the video goes down. I'll link the EFX Racer. It comes in yellow, green, blue. I think that's all the color. Oh, red, the one that's sitting behind me. And then they have the EFX Racer version 2s that had a little FPV canopy on the top. I don't fly FPV, so I didn't care much about that. And then they had the version 1s. I think the version 1 with this pretty tipped wings is the prettier one, but they do have a clipped wing version also. Supposedly it's a little faster, and the battery bay was bigger on the version 2. But they still do sell both versions of it. I think that Hobby King has them that are yellow right now. Anyway, we have any questions yet? Everybody's just chatting away down in the comments section, having a good time. It's like the Pilot Lounge follow-up tonight. Not trying to take your thunder, Ryan, if you're still in here. Enjoy it. We did get our cruising stand a while back. It's pretty funny. I mean, even these little bitty airplanes. Yeah.
What size is that Racer?
What size is it? As far as millimeters, I think it's 1200. Hang on. Good news, guys, when you're here, I can pull her down here and measure it. Except for somebody stole my tape measure off the wall. So, let me measure one wing and I'll put it together. Yeah, 18. Darn, where did my tape measure go, Lori? I think it actually looks more like an 1100 now. My tape measure's usually hanging up on the wall, but it's got stolen from me. It's not a huge airplane, though. If you see the Lippisch in comparison here, it's not a very big airplane, but it is very fast. There you go, bring that one. Here comes a tape measure.
Only in inches, but whatever.
That's fine. It is 44 inches wingspan, and tip to tail 29 inches. There we go. See if I cannot break it. It does also have a skid built into the bottom. This is a plastic hard skid because it's made to land it. And you know, once I've switched props to this APC 6x5.5, I haven't broke a prop on it yet landing it. This one's a little stiffer, and it just seems to always get itself out of the way, and I have not broke a single one, knock on wood, since I did that. The Durafly props are a lot thinner, and I had a lot of issues with breaking them, and I had a lot of issues with getting them. So I highly recommend if you get this. They say when you're running it on 4-cell, take the spinner off anyway. If you get one, just throw this prop on there and be done with it, and you won't break them anymore. It's a lot stiffer, so the plane actually goes a little faster with this propeller on it. Poor thing has just, I mean, it's seen a lot of crash landings out there. Yes, ma'am. We've got another question.
What size of 4-cell battery?
I run, okay, so in this airplane, you do have some room for wiggle on your battery compartment. I run 1500 to 2200 3-cells in here. No problem. On 4-cell, you're going to want no bigger than a 1500. You can run smaller ones, just adjust your flight times accordingly. I set my timer to 5 minutes on this airplane on a 1500 pretty much religiously anymore. And I don't have an issue at that. Now, if you're going to go out there and fly this thing full bore all the time, you're going to want to set your timer to probably 3.5 minutes because it can eat them, but it flies really good on about half throttle. I'd say it's pushing around 70 miles an hour on half throttle on 3-cell. I mean, it's moving, and it makes the neatest sound. I'll have to get some videos of us actually flying this airplane. It hasn't been on the top of my to-do list to do the video on this airplane just because ours is kind of old and beat up. And lately I've been trying to do some of our prettier airplanes, but, you know, just because an airplane's old and beat up doesn't mean we need to forget about it. This is a great airplane that I don't see anybody talking about anymore, and it's a shame because this is one of the best ones on the market right now as far as the flight characteristics. To me, for a hand launch airplane, it glides super easy to land it. I mean, I have to sit there and just hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, and it'll finally quit flying because this huge wing on it has such a good lifting area, and it flies so good. I can't say it enough. Now, if you're more into the jets, like I said, the Lippisch would be a great, not first airplane, but if you're looking for a first jet, I mean, these little guys right here fly great too. Question.
On the speeder, what's the top speed you think it is on a 4-cell?
4-cell top speed on that airplane, I'd say it's probably pushing 110, 120. If you're diving it, you might be able to get it over 130. I mean, it is smoking on 4-cell. Now, I don't have a radar gun to double check it, but we will get it out and fly it for you guys and get a video up. It's just, we've got the A-10 right now. We've got so many good airplanes right now. It's just hard to focus on that one when we have all these awesome airplanes right now. You know, like I said, it's a great airplane as far as flight characteristics and everything, but it's been out forever, and I know it's not the top on everybody's minds of what to fly right now. There's some really neat airplanes I got a chance to get a hold of lately. I actually have sneaky. We have 2 flex jets coming right now, orange and white, and the blue flex jet both coming. My wife's looking at me like, what? I didn't pay for them. Our friend Kevin got them, and he said if you'd like to see them and paint on them and Papa Dot them and everything, we're more than welcome to borrow them. So we're going to be getting those out of the box and doing the whole workup on those. I've had a chance to fly the flex jet. We tried to do a video of it one day, and it didn't turn out very good, so we ended up not using it. That flex jet is amazing. It is a phenomenal airplane. If Ryan's still in here, I know he's got a chance to fly one. It's in a different class of its own, the way it flies. If y'all ever have a chance to fly a flex jet, do it. I mean, it's an amazing airplane. I'm trying not to talk too much about it tonight because I don't have it setting here, though. So, like I said, tonight was just kind of an easy-going video on some of our small hand-tosser airplanes that, you know, they're easy and fun. And did anybody see when George Baker took 2 of these and put them together? Oh, it was hilarious. If you can imagine it, he didn't put this wing on, and he put 2 fuselages together and was flying this plane double the size. I'd love to do that. It looked like a lot of fun. And then James here lately was able to do his. He repainted his like an American Lippisch, which was kind of funny too. So it's a fun airplane that I really can't stress enough. For 99 bucks, everybody should have one of these little guys to fly. And they're pretty tough little airplanes. There's not a lot to them. There's carbon spars throughout, so they're pretty tough. If you really wanted to strengthen it a little bit, I could see taking the nose is kind of thin up in here. And if you know you're not the most competent pilot, I would maybe recommend putting some carbon spar. They make that real thin carbon spar up in here just to toughen this nose up, because it's going to take the brunt of your hits if you're not the most competent EDF pilot trying to get used to it. But like I said, even with your small airplanes, don't forget, this is a hobby. Model your airplanes, guys. Have fun with them. I mean, if you're wanting to try Papa Dotting, why not do it on a $99 airplane? You know, it's a great way to do it, like I said, and it still looks awesome. Let Laurie get that up there real quick. Now, I'm trying to think of some other small airplanes real quick while she's showing you that, guys. Let me reach around the corner here. Take a look. I don't have any other awesome airplanes right now, officially. Anyway, it was just kind of a short little video tonight about things like this. We got another question?
Do you do the weathering and Papa Dots does the...
Yeah, okay, so I get you. So Dad does the dots normally. So as soon as we get a new airplane, he actually bought this airplane for me for Christmas. Or was it my birthday? I can't remember. He's in the chat right now. And before I even saw it, he took it out of the box, put the rivets all over it, couldn't take it. He that's his thing. As soon as he gets it, he rivets it. And then I do the actual weathering of the airplanes normally, where I airbrush them. I've actually been airbrushing all day on another project, but it's off camera. So that's how we normally do it. And then we try and do little modeling things, like the Lippisch doesn't come with the front cannons. Lori, do I have the front cannons in view here? See these little cannons right here? It has the dent for it, but it didn't have the actual little plastic cannons. And once again, we took those coffee stirrers, put them in there, and now you got guns. Same thing, we thought it'd look cool with some guns out here on the wings. And if they're not very long, they're not very breakable. You can do them with little carbon spars too, and it works good.
So someone says, tell us about your chair.
About the chair. So I like playing video games, and I wanted a really comfortable chair. This is not really the same as the chairs that you get from. There's a lot of really famous YouTubers right now that have, I forgot what the brand of it is, but this is the knockoff version on Amazon. These are $89. I picked them up for me and Lori. It's got a footrest on it. I could throw a link in there for it, guys, if you're interested in these chairs. They're very comfortable. You got the headrest and the backrest. I'll throw a link in after we get all done tonight to one.
Oh, I think the question about the weathering was, Dennis said, maybe for other people, not just for yourselves.
What do you mean?
The weathering and stuff, would y'all do it for someone else?
Maybe. It gets very awkward trying to ship airplanes. When we shipped Ryan the T-45, I paid almost $100, $105 just to ship that airplane. So it gets really difficult to do any kind of work for people. Not to say I'm opposed to it. If you live in Florida, maybe meet up and get it that way. But as far as weathering airplanes for people, it gets really hard to ship airplanes. They get really big really quickly, and they get really expensive to ship. So that's why most of the used markets, for me personally, I've always tried to find them locally and go pick airplanes up that way. Like I bought the F-15 Strike Eagle not too long ago. It's in like brand new condition, but I couldn't order it online from anybody used because every time I'd look at eBay or whatever, I mean, I was looking at $70 to $100 in shipping just to get it here. And when you put that on top of a used price, you can buy a brand new one from Motion with free shipping. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And that's where it gets challenging to do paint jobs for people. Like I said, if you live in Florida, there's a good chance, yes, we could maybe meet up and I could paint one for you. That's never a problem.
It's kind of a personal thing too. Everybody likes theirs weathered different.
Right, and everybody kind of likes their stuff a certain way, and we've got real lucky with our friend Kevin that he's bought a lot of these really nice airplanes and he likes the work we do. So we've made a trade-off, said, hey Kevin, if you'll let us use the airplanes for the videos, we'll paint your airplanes up, and it works out good for everybody that way. So anyway, that's kind of the thing on that. We are currently in the last steps of getting a shirt out. We're going to buy one for ourselves with Papa Dot's custom his patches. We're actually making a shirt right now. We're gonna buy one first because we're gonna try it with the actual picture of the patch to see if it looks good. If not, we're gonna have to vector file them and repaint them into it to make them look right. So we've done it both ways, but we're gonna actually order some of our shirts first before we offer them to you guys, because I don't want to offer them and then they come out and they look blurry and they don't look good. So that's the only reason that the Squadron patches aren't officially out on our t-shirt page yet. And if y'all didn't know, we do have t-shirts now on Teesprings, just like Ryan and them. Have you dropped a link or anything?
I haven't dropped a link. Somebody else.
Dennis, maybe somebody might have dropped a link. We do have t-shirts now. They're not here yet for me to actually show you guys, but I'm very excited about it. It's been an amazing journey we've been on.
Dave?
What's that?
They just dropped another link.
Oh yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. It's so great. It's funny knowing when she says Dave did it. I know it's Dave Kowalski. But I know it's you. And it's funny, guys, how I'm getting to know so many of you in the YouTube world, from the Pilot Lounge and whatever else. We've talked privately, a bunch of the guys have talked privately. You know, I had the coolest message the other day, not to get too much off of the RC airplane thing, but I had the neatest message the other day where one of our viewers had sent me a picture of his T-28, and he'd done the dots all over it. He'd weathered it, everything. He was out in California, and it was the neatest thing to me to get the feedback that somebody had enjoyed our videos and had watched it and liked it. So we ended up sending him a sticker and a personal thank you letter. But, I mean, it was really a neat thing for us to know that we're reaching you guys and you're learning stuff from our channel. And we are going to do more live airbrushing right now. We just aren't doing it right at the moment. I wanted to give it some break in between them, Because if you do it every single week, it can get old after a while of seeing, okay, we're going to airbrush another airplane this week. So I'm trying to do some different stuff. I like to keep you on your toes. You never know what you're going to see over here in the live show. So anyway, what now? I think I'm coming to the end of if my little rant here. It's not really a rant, but my little talk. Is there any questions, guys? It's a great time if you've got any. I don't want to have a lot of dead air, so if there's not a lot of questions for the boozers tonight, I understand that. I'm sure y'all have been talking amongst yourselves in the chat tonight, as we always do in the live shows. I apologize up front right now for the audio quality the pilot lounge when we were in there. I am sorry that turned out like that. I was super excited for it, and we're learning still. I'm still very new to the YouTube game, but I'm having a ball, and I think I've had so many people reach out and say it's okay and thank you, and it's just been great, the community's support behind the boozers. We are officially going to Joe Nall, so anybody that's going to Joe Nall, we are bringing 250 stickers. We're going to try and bring some shirts, some stuff to sell there. We'll have the actual patches that Dad's making. I'm sure we'll have those with us. If anybody's wanting to buy one, you can actually get it in your hand there and look at it. So that'll be really fun.
I have a few things.
Okay.
One, Dave says he may be coming to Florida here in a few weeks.
All right, Dave. Well, if you are in Florida in a few weeks, if you're going to Orlando for Disney World or to Tampa, you're only going to be about an hour away from us. So get together with me on Facebook, and I'd love to meet you.
Next, are you going to Neffy this year?
Neffy. Which one's Neffy? Is that the one at AMA headquarters? If it's the one in AMA headquarters up in Indiana, I don't think we'll be making it there.
That's the one Ryan's been talking a lot about.
Yeah, that's a long way for the boozers, and we have some personal things we're trying to take care of this year that are going to make it kind of hard for me to travel a lot. Not to say we won't go next year, but this year I think we're going to try and do Nall, and I think we're going to try and do Seth in Georgia. That one's only about 4.5 hours from us, so we're going to try and hit those two for sure. And then there's a Jet Fest in what do they call it? Top of the World RC Club here in, I can't remember where it is. It's off of I-75 near Ocala. That's coming up in like 2 weeks. There's another jet show coming up in like 2 weeks here in Florida that I've been looking at, and it's at the Top of the World RC Club. But we'll have to double check that. We're currently working on the video from E-Jet Fest. Hopefully that's going to be coming out on Wednesday. We had a wonderful time there. Another question?
Kind of a question, kind of more of a statement.
Okay.
There's a new guy on our channel. His name's Dan. He just wanted to say hi.
Well, hello, Dan.
First time.
Welcome to the channel. Like I said, we always love having new guys, and we've enjoyed the heck out of everybody coming in and share those pictures. If you guys are getting airbrushes, I keep hearing from Ryan, guys are buying airbrushes like crazy lately. Share them. We love seeing the airplanes you guys have customized with what you've learned from us. I mean, we love that. That's like a teacher seeing that his student's able to do something they've been trying to teach him. We love it. Love it. Yes, Lori.
Talk about putting cameras on a plane.
We have actually done FPV before. I actually sold all my FPV equipment, though. It's not very big at the club I fly at. There was like 3 of us trying to do it, and the other 2 guys couldn't really get it going, and then I had it going for a little bit, and it just wasn't our thing doing FPV. Now, that being said, I would like to eventually invest in a run cam to be able to stick on the outside of our airplane for the videos, if that's what you mean. It's just a matter of trying to afford everything right now. Like I said, we're new to YouTube, and we had to invest in a new camera. We got a new microphone. That microphone didn't work, so now we got the new microphone you're listening to us on, and it seems to work good as long as I have it close to me. But when we're doing these live shows, I invested in this microphone, and I mean, this was $100 by itself. So I mean, that's a lot of money when we're talking RC airplanes. I mean, that's I could have had a Lippisch. I could have had the F8 Crusader for what I had to put into the microphone. So it's just a little, as I can afford more and more equipment, I want to grow the channel. So run cams, GoPro, all that kind of things. I'd really like to get a Mavic so we can get some aerial shots of it. But it's just a matter of time and money right now, guys. We're trying our best to bring it. You know, we bought a new camera. I don't know where it is right now. I had it charging just a minute ago, but we bought the new camera that we're getting your film out at the field with, and it's a Canon Vixia R800 RH 800. Oh, here it is. You know, we didn't have a video camera when we started this whole adventure, so we had to buy a video camera, and we've been really happy with this. We actually got this off the Pilot Ryan store. But the internal microphone on it was terrible. So then we had to invest in a microphone, which is sitting somewhere around here. We should probably do a whole video just on what we actually use for equipment one of these days for filming. I think that could be a fun video. But, you know, we had to get a camera, though, and that was $250 when we bought the camera. And, you know, there's another airplane. So it's just one of those things that we want to get better with time, but it's just... the equipment initial setup is kind of expensive right now, so we're trying to afford that all. Not to mention this room. We built this whole room on our house for this, for our airplanes. This whole room didn't exist a year ago. This is all new. What's your question?
I don't know. I was just laughing. Papa Boozer said we need a newer, younger partner because he's running on old.
Right. Well, and my old partner over there, you know, we got to teach him how to do anything that has to do with any of this video stuff. But he's getting better. We got it to where he's not taking pictures of his fingers for the slow-mos anymore, so that's helping a lot. Fingers, ground, whatever it was. We had to give him a hard time the other day, guys. He'd go to do his shot for the slow-mo and turn the camera on at the end of it and then start filming the ground. And when the airplane would come by again, he'd turn it off. Oh, we had to give him a hard time. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're a family and we're having a great time with this. You know, if this was ever not fun to me anymore, I wouldn't do it. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for sponsorships. We don't have any of that in this. So what we're doing this for is to have a good time. If we make a little extra here and there, that's great. I'm not going to lie to you. But at the end of the day, we're doing this to have fun, and we're doing it for you guys to maybe learn something from us here and there. That's all we're trying to do here is have a good time and have a family atmosphere. And we're loving it. We've enjoyed every minute of it. You know, the guys that I've started to meet from this, we have a very small group here that flies. But I feel like I've gained... what is it, 300 subscribers now, but I feel like, you know, I'm getting to know every one of you as you're one of the guys at the field. I talk to a lot of you guys on a regular basis through social medias and Facebooks and everything else, you know, and it's just been like I have more friends now. I mean, it's the neatest thing. We've really enjoyed this, guys, but I have a feeling we've been almost on for an hour, and me and Lori said we're probably going to stay on for a short time tonight. Oh, 38 minutes. Well, that's not too bad. Well, like I said, is there any other questions before we cut this off? I'm not trying to waste your time, guys. I just wanted to be on tonight for a short time, talk about some airplanes that I really enjoy. If there's not any other questions, we'll start thinking about wrapping this up. Maybe put the 5-minute kibosh on this.
The camera on the plane thing, they were talking about run cam.
Run cam. Yep, the run cam split is what we'd like to do, the little orange one where you can stick it on there. We would like to get one. It's just, like I said, a little bit more time. What?
Show us the project off screen you've been working on.
You really? Well, you'd be disappointed if I told you it wasn't an airplane. Funny enough. So I'll tell you, why not? As a little second hobby of mine, can they see this? I paint board game miniatures.
See if we can.
So, if you've ever done that, kind of to go along with the painting thing, so I play a lot of board games, me and my wife do, and one of my side hobbies is painting miniatures. So those guys come just blank. Let's see. Here's a blank guy. No, wait, here's a blank guy. They come like this. So you want to talk about going cross-eyed, if you can see it. I mean, a non-painted versus a painted one. Are they focusing?
There we go.
Take him out of the screen, but yeah, there you go. So that is my side project right now. Now, I also have some airplanes going, but they're all the way out in the garage right now, and I can't bring it in for you guys to see it. We have the big A10, and I've got the Flex Jets coming. But the big A10 I've been playing with a little bit, sneaky. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to have the big A10 in here, and we're going to do a full paint video with you guys watching. I'm actually debating on doing a repaint on that airplane. But if I do a repaint, I won't be able to do it on the live because it'll take too long. Another question?
Do you ever sell any of the airplanes you don't fly anymore?
That's a hard question. Do I sell any of the airplanes I don't fly? I fly all of my airplanes. I may not fly them all every time, but if I don't like an airplane, I get rid of it immediately. If it's an airplane I like, you've seen it in my hangar. An expression my dad has said for a long time is life's too short to fly turd airplanes. And that's something I kind of live by. If an airplane is junk, why have it? There's so many good airplanes nowadays. Don't even waste your time with it. But if I get an airplane that I really like, I don't want to get rid of it. But if there's something I really want and I can sell or trade it on top of it to get airplanes, I have done that. It's the rule. My wife's coming over saying it's the rule. He's got 100 airplanes. He can get rid of some before he buys some. So I have a very loving wife that has let me amass quite a collection of airplanes, and has been very understanding with that. So yes, I do sell airplanes from time to time, because I used to always tell her, well, I'll wait till I crash a couple, and knock on wood, not to toot my own horn, but after you've been doing it for, 16, 18 years like I have, I don't really crash a lot of airplanes anymore. And I'm going to go out there and pile drive the next airplane I fly after saying that. But, in the last 2 years, I think I've crashed 2 airplanes. And luckily for me, it wasn't mine, it was my dad's. I crashed. He had one of those Pandoras from Motion RC where you can put the wing on top and on the bottom. And I had found him a DX8. There's probably one hanging up there, but I had found one online. The guy wanted $100 for it. I went and bought that DX8 for him so he could have a good radio. And turned out that the antenna was broke in it. So I took off, flew great out to about 150 feet out, and then nothing. And it went boom, and it just exploded. And so that was probably one of the worst crashes I've had in about 2 years, but it wasn't my airplane, so you're welcome, Papa Dots. And the other one is I had an old GWS A10, and I spent a couple nights converting it over to putting a pusher motor on the back of it, and I rebuilt this whole kit, and I painted it, and put all the stickers on it, and I got out there, and I threw it, and the elevator was so brittle on that old kit that the elevator snapped on it, and the plane went boom, and I mean that old brittle foam exploded. I've never seen a foam airplane break like this. I mean, it looked like one of the old balsa ones when it just exploded into 1,000 pieces. Okay, another question?
Do you do range check?
I do now. Every time. I definitely range check. If you're curious, on an IX-12, it's actually really simple too. You go... Let me show you this real quick. Anybody that's got an IX-12, if you don't know how to, where am I? Am I on the screen now?
Right there.
Right there? Okay, so now you go, what is it, model setup? Well, I said that. Okay, there you go. What is it doing? Well, I haven't turned it on in a week, and now it's decided it wants to reset the app. Anyway, it's 2 buttons to do it on the IX-12, so it's really easy to do it. You walk out 100 feet, and you hold the trainer button to turn the controller to half power. I don't know why my IX-12 decided to do a restart right now, but of course, right as I'm in the middle of something, it's going to do that. And, well, whatever. I'll mess with that later. I want to do a video on this radio, guys, showing you how to set up an airplane from start to finish. I've had several guys ask about it. I do love this radio. There's sometimes it's kind of funky. There it goes. It decided to restart the entire app right now. I get a lot of complaints about battery life on this. If you get one of these, make sure you do the latest update. I cannot recommend it enough. There you go. It's fully reset. Do the latest update. Do not procrastinate on it. It goes from lasting for a week to I haven't charged this in 2 months and it still has 22% battery left on it. And when you get to the field, you double tap this, put it in deep sleep mode, and I mean, it lasts forever. But a lot of guys, if you get it out of the box and do not update it, the battery is only going to last a week in this thing. And it's annoying. Update it. I'll do a video on how to do a bunch of stuff on that radio. We really need to do a full video on that, not get into that tonight. Any other questions?
Please don't do a video on it. You might push somebody over the edge to buy it.
Oh, you definitely need one. And now, I bought one of the very original ones. Now it comes in like 6 colors. The green, man, if I could have got the green one, I'd been so happy. Because they have it in lime green from the factory now, and it looks so good. But I had to have it right when it came out. I actually was on the waiting list, and I literally got one of the very first ones. And it was very clunky right out of the box. But after all the updates, they're great now. But make sure you update it, guys, if you get one. Yeah, it's not hard. You go to the account, you type in, or the app store on there, type in Spectrum Airwear, hit update. That's all you have to do. It doesn't delete your model memories. If you do the update after you've loaded a bunch of airplanes in, the initial update, you will have to rebind every single airplane in there. So don't make the mistake of me and go in there and set up 70 airplanes and get them all bound and then update. Because then you have to rebind all of your airplanes. And it's kind of annoying if you just sit down for 2 days straight doing it. Anyway, any other questions, guys, before we cut this off for the night? We're going to go try and have dinner here in just a few minutes. We thank y'all for coming. I didn't even ever ask how many people were in here tonight. I'm not looking at the screen anymore.
There was up to 22 at one point.
22 people? Holy cow. We're doing good tonight. Well, if there's no other questions, guys, we're going to go on and call this a night. We've had a great time hanging out with you. Thank you for coming by and spending time with us. We loved having it. Get you a Lippisch. You won't regret it. Get an EFX Racer. I like the EFX, but I'm telling you right now, if you want a fast airplane to have just a ball with, buy one of these. I really cannot recommend it enough. There's a couple guys at the field that have got these, and every one of them, you don't have to fly it 100 miles an hour all the time. You can always use that other stick, like I said last time. This stick right here, don't forget, you can slow the airplanes down with it. Anyway, it's a great airplane, guys. I was disappointed when they canceled or discontinued it the first time because I keep threatening to buy a new one. This airplane's probably got 150, 160 flights on it. And I bought it used and have flown it that much. Phenomenal airplane. Anyway, all right, guys, let's call this a night. So I've had a great time. Thank you very much for being here. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. Laura, you gonna